Alright guys, so we have Mr. Tejas Sanghvi, who is 7 years with Fractal and total 9 years with Fractal, and Mudassir Khan, who has just started. So he was a Grey Atom student and he has started his career as a data scientist at MMS.ind. So both of them, the idea of this panel discussion is not so. I have certain questions which I believe will help all of you, and I'm going to ask that question in the panel. But feel free to ask any of your questions that regarding what they look for in the candidate or whatever you guys have. So the idea is to give you the industry perspective of what is happening in data science and how they are recruiting, what is the roadmap for them in terms of so especially Tejas has seen 10 years of analytics journey, so he has seen everything from SAS, Excel to now Python, R. And
about myself, my name is Tejas Sanghvi. I have done my master's from the Simonji Institute way back in 2004. I've worked at Fractal for 9 years overall, 7 years now in my current stint, and a couple of years earlier. I have had my own startup for 4 years in analytics, IT, BI, a lot of different things. Before that, I've done a couple of years in the IT world as well. I've worked for a couple of years developing websites like Money Control, etc. way back in 1999 when it was just started. I've been lucky enough to start in the analytics industry very early on, and it is still not too late for all of you. So, very happy and excited to be here as well.
That's quick.
Yeah, my name is Mudassir, and I'm just a student who was there before you guys. So I joined Grey Atom in the first batch, and after that I got placed as a data scientist at MMS.ind. So even before Grey Atom, I did a lot of courses in data science and also did a small internship. Yeah.
Alright, so wonderful. So we'll basically, as I said, I have few questions which I'm going to ask them and which I feel will be relevant for all of you. But you guys, if you have any other questions, we'll have a slot after that as well, then you can go ahead and start asking, right? Wonderful. So there's a lot of people come and ask us that, do I need a PhD to be a data scientist? Do I need a master's to be a data scientist? Do I need to be computer science background to be a data scientist? Do I need to have a statistic background to be a data scientist? So what are your thoughts? What do you see how this thing is going? So maybe just brief us on that.
I think, the basic premise for data scientist is the person can learn from data, right? And he or she can analyze data, generate business insights, solve business problems. And any learning, that we do, whether it comes from a statistics person or from a PhD or whatever, right? At the end of the day, we are expecting the person to give the results. If you've done a PhD but you are not able to apply that to business problems, that doesn't help. Having said that, at Fractal there are very few PhDs. I don't want to diminish the value of a PhD, but honestly, I feel that anyone can actually learn and become a data scientist if they really apply themselves to what is required to be done. In terms of statistics, definitely knowing statistics would help in data science, but we've seen, the majority of people come from an engineering background. The kind of mindset that is required is that, I'm going to solve this problem, I'm going to extract the last bit of information that's present in the data. I personally don't think, I am from a BCom, I'm a BCom graduate who's done an MBA and was coming to this field. And yes, if you call me, if you ask me, I have an engineering mindset, the kind that is required to solve a problem. But I don't think that any specific degree is something that is, anyone is looking at. In fact, data science is said to be multidisciplinary. People come from multiple disciplines and they really do well if they work closely together, because someone can provide a business context, another person can provide a data context, etc. So from my perspective, if you are a PhD, great, you can be a data scientist. If you are an engineer, great, you can be a data scientist. If you are a BCom student, great, you can be a data scientist. If you are a student of Grey Atom, you can definitely be a data scientist.
sir, if you can just tell your entire journey of like from the education to how you actually got your interest in data science, and if you can like
So, yeah, I did my engineering in electronics engineering and also did an MBA after that in marketing. And I got placed as a management trainee at Landmark. So I did that stint for a year. And yeah, so around that time I got going to data science. When I first read about it, I thought I think this is more of someone who has done a PhD or who has a very good math background. So initially I thought, okay, maybe this is not for me, right? But then I read more and more about it, right? And what I did was basically, okay, let's try it. So I went to Kaggle, I did my first Titanic problem basically. And okay, I'm like, okay, I think maybe I can do this. So I did this for a month, right? And I got very interested. And then I pursued it for full time. I mean, I started to learn it full time. So I did a lot of courses. I started with, there's a specialization on Coursera called Data Science with R. I completed that. And then I came to know that we need to have a good statistics background. I did also statistics specialization. Also learned SQL, and basically a lot of various courses that I thought maybe these are very important. So did my whole learning journey. I followed it that with an internship at a company. So one thing that you need to keep in mind that you don't have to put your focus on money at that moment, even in your first job, even in your internship, right? So when I started out, I was basically doing their work for free. So I did that for 2 months, and that post that they did provide me stipend stuff. So when you're going there, you basically want to bring business value to their business. No matter what you do, they won't maybe care much about what you're doing, but basically if you can demonstrate business value for them, they'll be very happy with you. So that's what I did there, and post that I joined Grey Atom. Yeah, it has been a very good learning experience at Grey Atom. So what I got at Grey Atom was a very good environment, a very good exposure to the industry. So I'm like, okay, before that I was working in a silo. I was basically learning in front of my laptop and basically doing everything there. Coming there, I formed a network here, met a lot of people, got a lot of new insights, right? So I'm like, okay, this is the new thing that I can basically extract from there. Post that I got a job and now basically I'm working as a data scientist. Also, transitioning from learning to actually being there, I came to know a lot of stuff like, you won't be basically building models all day, right? You'll be working with a lot of data. So you need to be very comfortable with working with a lot of data. And people say that 80% of a job of a data scientist is basically data munching or working with data and data cleansing, right? So that's what I'm doing right now. And we'll go to the model building stuff.
awesome, very nice. Good. So now Tejas, you have spent 10 years, right? I mean, in this data industry. So what was your journey? How did it all started, and what is the transition you are seeing now? And for the data scientists, what are the skills that you are looking for right now? So if you can just throw the complete light on that.
Yeah, I think I'll take on 2 or 3 different themes, that really characterize the journey of the industry, of the data science industry. The first theme is essentially when we really had very less data, right? When we are looking at models, we were, I think probably 10 years back when I'm building a model, there used to be like 5,000, 10,000 rows, and that was considered very good or very large. Right? And today, the kind of work that we do in deep learning, that we have millions of data points, and these are not millions of data points. These are not 1 or 2 points. Our PR team works with a lot of data, a lot of these millions of X-rays, and they are trying to figure out something. So there is a huge change. The world has moved to big data. So that's really real. I mean, you will also still be doing analysis on small data. Doesn't mean that you will not have less data. The second thing that's there is we've moved, the industry has really moved to open source quite a lot. I mean, we've seen earlier SAS was the tool. If you go to still be, there will still be requirement which might say that require SAS. But don't worry, these are all technologies of the future. If you're not learning SAS, you're not going to miss a lot of action. Python these are the real tools that are being used right now. Of course, on the BI space, we still have closed tools like Tableau, etc. But we are seeing a lot more open source. And the entire Hadoop ecosystem is largely open source and really helps. So anyone can learn without really spending a huge amount of investment. That's the second theme that's there. The other thing that we have seen is in terms of model building, we have seen the latest last 3-4 years have been essentially a move towards deep learning, kind of based on these kind of trends. Earlier, our benchmark was logistic regression. Our benchmark today is going to be deep learning, and a lot of advancements. If you see the earlier advancements that were there, they happened to traditional logistic linear regression. There was a huge advantage that companies got from implementing this over judgmental decisions, and that same level of lead we are seeing now. Google cars, everything being happening through deep learning methodologies. The vision, a lot of advancement in vision, in speech happening through deep learning. That's definitely a big thing.
And one thing I would like to add here is this: you don't need to focus more on the tools. You just need to focus on the concept. Right? Every tool has its own way of implementing. Right? Some things are better implemented in Python right now, and then you can SAS some other. Right? But maybe Python, maybe there may be some other tool that does the job better than Python. So getting the concepts right is more important rather than learning a language.
Yeah, I would also like to add that I think by and large the kind of people we are hiring remain the same. We still look at people who have a curiosity to learn and explore a lot, who are not tied to one particular technology or tool or one method. Basically multidimensionally, multidisciplinary kind of thing. That definitely is one thing that hasn't changed a lot.
Thank you. So now at Fractal, I'm sure you have we have iterated this multiple times. You have various paths for your new recruits or recruit people in different buckets. So if you can just share more lights on that, what are the different paths to be like to reach at a data science position, green data science position, as we say. So what are the different paths you have at Fractal and the
Sure. So I will talk about it in the Fractal context. The industry as it has evolved, a lot of terms are used loosely. So if you feel that Fractal data scientist is different than something you've heard, don't worry. The interpretations are many in the industry. So what we have seen is after maybe 17 years in this space, and after a certain point in time, after 12, 13 years, we realized the need for different career tracks within analytics. So we built 4 career tracks that are there. So first is analytics consulting. The analytics consulting career track, the person in that career track understands the business problem very well. He or she has a good understanding of tools, technologies, techniques to build normal models or implement them as well to some extent, right? And they are the ones who understand problem solving really, really well. So that's one part. Second career track is the BI analyst, where the person understands the BI technology, BI and program management. They also understand implementation in the client system. So these are people who understand how dashboards, how visually a CXO needs to see his data. Right? Today, there's so much data that's there. Even Mithul, if you are thinking, he has so much data about his students, about where he's getting applications from, what kind of people are coming in. What is the information he would like to see on a day-to-day basis? What is the information that Shoppers Stop CEO wants to see? Or is 1 down, or 2 down, or 3 down? The person at the final desk who is making the decision of whether to give a discount or not, or something else needs to know. So that's the kind of thing that a BI program manager person would know in terms of how to operationalize the analytics. There's a lot of analytics that goes on, but ultimately it has to be presented on how to do that. And then there's a data science career track, data scientist career track, where we see the fractal definition, as I said, is absolutely people who can build a lot of different kind of models, deep learning models, understand the difference between why you are implementing a random forest versus a GTM versus this, and what is better suited to apply. So it takes time and effort. What we have seen is within Fractal, we have about 6 to 7% of people who are actually data scientists out of the delivery team. So typically, the way we would think is a person would become an analytics consultant, and he or she really is interested. He wants to know how things are done, how various techniques are implemented. We have a mentoring approach, and they get into data science. And the last is big data career track, where the person can implement all of these techniques in a big data environment. Again, there is a lot of focus there on the tech tools and techniques, and we provide support if people want to move into different career tracks.
Thank you. So, Buddha, you have gone through a lot of interviews, and even as an intern, and then basically, I think you have gone to HDFC. So if you can just shed a light on what common theme or what are the different things they look when they are basically recruit.
Yeah, there's one thing that almost all, what are your, how are your problem solving? Maybe they give you a case study, right? And basically data science case study, and how you can become this model for them, or a predictive model for them, right? That is one thing that they do. This might be a prerequisite even before the interview, right? They also ask a lot of probability questions, right? Statistics questions, a lot of machine learning concepts. So, the basics are very important, right? If you don't get the basics, you are basically out of the interview, right? You cannot tell what is linear regression, what is regularization, right? You cannot demonstrate it, and you know it very well. I mean, these are the questions that will, that won't basically reject you, but answering them would automatically make a selection from there, right? Apart from that, the most important thing I think they look for is what our projects have done. So having building a good portfolio is very important. Doing side projects even when you are basically learning here is very important. Maybe you can write a blog on your own that is valued very much by this. Apart from that, some people look for is how good do you understand SQL? How do you understand the relation? You understand how joins and merges work, because that's what you have been doing a lot in your work. So yeah, these are some of the important ways that I can think of on the top of my mind.
Thank you. So now a lot of people say is data science a fade, it's going to just a lot of people just read the news that it's going to take away jobs, and does it have a future? So what are your just take on where are we right now, and what is the future for data science?
I think, many of these things are newsworthy, right? So these are newsworthy things, right? I mean, maybe it doesn't, all of us are using calendar, Google Calendar and all of that, and we see that secretaries have come down quite a lot, right? And does that mean that they are doing something else, right? So that's the kind of thing that we see. I think largely, by and large, we are going to see a lot of repetitive jobs get redundant, and people doing something else out of their roles later on. Overall, there is another trend which says that data science is going to replace IT completely and all. I don't believe that we will go at that level. We will need so many data scientists. But really, I'm saying any professional, not just all of you who are participating in data science, right? And in a data science course and trying to become data scientists. But everyone who is actually doing a normal job, they also need to understand how to analyze data. They also need to do that, and that is going to become a basic necessity. It is not a good to have, right? I mean, imagine a person who doesn't know how to analyze data in Excel. If that happens, then that's definitely the evolution. Everyone needs to be there, and I don't think that data science jobs are going to go down. We're going to see at all and increase as this field expands exponentially. It's too difficult to say whether we're going to expand at a rapid pace or at a regular pace, but definitely I think that if you're starting a career now, you're not entering into a dead industry. That is for sure. It's going to grow. It's going to become big from here.
I think there's one reason put by entering that AI is a new electricity. So I mean, this is not a fad that people are looking. This is not like something new that people are so excited about and will die down further down the road. So this is more of something very core and very essential to companies. It's like every company has a marketing department. So in the future, every company will have a specific data science department, even department of specifically a department of data. So basically something that is important for every business as a strategy, and it's basically invaluable.
So just to add to that, so we have in our current running other batch, we have a couple of directors from banking, vice president, or and a person with almost 250 members reporting to handling 250 member organization. So we just ask them, why you want to do it. So they are like now, so they have a different stakeholder. So they have a customer, they have their CXOs and everything. They're like, every problem we are getting right now is a data problem. And we have a very clear mandate from the CXOs that let's start investing. So if we don't learn, then there are very good chances that we'll get replaced. So it is like, at every level they are seeing this, some movement on the data side. Even we we speak to so many companies. So even the smallest of companies have started thinking in that direction, that how can they automate? So we were just talking to this Yatra. So even like, just a small example. So Yatra, like once you book the tickets from Yatra, they send an email to you saying that we have an insurance, you buy insurance from us, like traveling insurance. So now there are 6 products of that insurance, 99 rupees and 999 rupees. So which insurance product to send it to whom? They don't want to give too many options to you, right? Because it's like again problem of many. So how can they cluster you and how can they send you the specific one to? So even at the smallest of level, people have started thinking on like how can they automate, how can they start sending. So it's definitely we see that people have started investing heavily on that. Awesome. So here just specific to you, there are some students who don't have enough programming experience, and I'm sure you have electronics, and then you had MBA. How did you develop your love for programming, and what are the different things which you suggest them to do?
So, see, anyone can learn programming. I come from an MBA background, so if I can learn programming, I think anyone can develop a love for programming. If you think of it more as a means of communication to your computer, how you're gonna make your computer do stuff that you want to. So if you think of it, and if you think of basically building some project, building some interesting app, if you think in these ways, and then maybe say, okay, this language will help me make this thing. Okay, then you'll be more motivated to learn it, and it will make your learning process easier. So basically, having a project or having an application will help you, will accelerate your learning process. So that's how I think programming can be learned by anyone. If you think about what cool things you can do with it, and that will be seen.
I think again, just to add my thought on that. So idea is even, and not just in programming, even if you are doing machine learning, I mean, don't just start from the concept, think from the problem. That okay, this is the problem, this is the problem you want to attend, or this is the project you want to attend. And now how can I solve it using Python, or how can I solve it using different algorithms or whatever. So always go in the problem solving approach rather than concept that okay, absolute theory that you start. So that is something which will help you.
Just to add, if you have not done any programming ever, think of some cool or good algorithms that you can develop, right? I mean, think of write a program to to have the first 100 prime numbers. Write a program that finds whether a string is a palindrome. Okay, it's same from both sides. So these are things which which are simple. It's not a very complex one, but eventually you will start developing that interest. And yes, interest, I would personally say, takes it is if you like it, then you get it. So the only way to check it is if you do it, you'll get to know whether you like it or certainly all of this will help you learn concepts of loops, iterations, how to solve something.
Right. Awesome. So, in your current job, what are the, like, you're completed what, 2-3 months now? Almost, right? Yeah. So, what are the things you are doing it right now? Is it majorly like you have started building models? What exactly you do right now?
What I'm doing right now is basically we have a problem. We basically what we do is profile customers based on their location. Okay, where do they actually live? And based on that, we'll profile them. Okay, what is the income segment do they fall in? What are their preferences for buying stuff, right? So even if they are within the same income category, they might have a different way of buying, or they have their own value. They have different value. So for doing that, we need to get their exact name, and for that we just have some addresses. Now, addresses are written in various formats, and there's no basically standard way of writing addresses in India, right? Some people will write flat number 201. Some people will just write 201. So it becomes a problem to parse those things and give them to a geocoding API basically to get their location. My job is basically to get an address, recognize the important parts, and then ship it off to Google so that we can get their basically the content. So currently, most of my part is data cleaning and basically building, coming up with a lot of tools. Since we don't have a labeled data set right now, we are a small company right now. We are thinking of firstly doing it by hand, and then as we move on, making a labeled data set and then applying some machine learning. That's in the pipeline. What we are next.
Just in your journey, you can just shed light on few use cases which, like, where data science or has really helped. I'm sure Pure.ai, Cuddle, there are so many things Fractal is doing from the product to services. You can just share some of the experiences.
Yeah, sure. So some of the experiences, I think you clearly mentioned marketing as one of the experience. People want to sell more, and whom to sell and what to sell, what should the message be. All of this is really tested very well. It's said that Capital One does 1 lakh tests in a day, right? I mean, what it means is, the same example, Yatra.com, you can send 5 different, versions of 99 rupees to 5 different customers, each with a different color, slight variation, and you can change, you can do n amount of experimentation to figure out what is really working. And then you can use that info to say that, okay, this particular message has the highest chance because it has whatever blue button and which really customers like or whatever, right? We don't know what they like, but it really works. So basis that you can do that. So that's test and learn, and marketing is one really big, large use case. Quite a lot of the work that Fractal does is in this domain. Forecasting is another problem that we work for. One of our clients, we forecast more than 15,000 category country combinations. So, for example, if you're going to use a soap, if they're going to sell soap, how much is going to sell in India, how much is going to sell in US, how much is going to sell in all the different countries, and based on that, they determine the marketing budget, spend budget, etc. Then again, how companies are going to spend their budgets, marketing budgets. So basically, if you are going to sponsor India cricket match, is that going to give you a good return? Maybe for certain products, yes, but if you're going to sell probably matchstick or something, some very product which doesn't connect with cricket, then it may not give you the right result. So that kind of thing is again something that we do. On the risk side, we've built models for clients. I have personally been involved in model building for a large Indian bank and really used it where we built models which tell the credit worthiness of the individual based on their application data, etc. Whom to give the loan to or give the credit card to. We've used debit data to assess the credit worthiness also of clients. We are using it to identify fraudulent claims in insurance in the US. pricing decisions, what is the right price which maximizes the revenue. So there are lots and lots of applications depending on the industry, and if you get into one industry, there will be a lot many things that can be done using analytics. I mean, at the end of the day, we are helping an individual make decisions. So wherever decision making is there and there is data, you can see that invariably that data can help in improving the decision. So that's the scope of analytics.
I think you were also working on one of the startup in sports industry, if I'm not mistaken.
I worked at a company called Holding Valley. It's basically media, and we had an app that basically tells scores and gives out and build articles and gives out stats. Yeah, worked on it. We actually had a problem wherein we wanted to just predict what is the probability that a team will win this match. So I was not part of exactly that, but yeah, I've been part of the.
So now,
a couple of things I missed, which is actually cutting edge, which is what we are doing in Pure, is essentially we are identifying what a radiologist can do. From an X-ray, medical scan, what is the report? So it takes a radiologist 15 minutes, 20 minutes to figure out, see the report and write the report, right? Imagine he has to do 20. So then a person who is at the end will have to wait for 200 minutes to get his report. Whereas our team can develop the report in 30 seconds and the results can be immediately available for the doctor to act upon, right? So that's something that we are doing. We are helping identify tuberculosis in India. We are working with various teams to do much more progress on that. So these are some cutting edge things that we are already doing. Well, Fractal itself, and we won a lot of awards also on our work.
So there is this another question on the learnability or like upskilling of your employees. So I'm sure the landscape is changing so fast, right? And you can't just go on and hire people from outside. I'm sure you're doing. So what is the frequency? Do you have any formal training? How do you keep up to the technology landscape which is changing within Fractal?
Yeah, absolutely. This is a great question. As I said, my own journey, I started working using SAS and then now doing Python and again learning, deep learning. I think we place a very high level of importance on this. On training, learning, upskilling. So that's one big differentiator within Fractal. I think we are all lifelong students in analytics because the landscape keeps changing a lot. We have to continuously learn, upgrade ourselves. So how we do this in Fractal is we've got something known as a systematic learning plan where we are saying that the person should be really good at R or Python, SQL, and one of the visualization tools. So by the time they join Fractal, and within 1 year of that, we expect people to be experts at all of these skills. And we expect that at the basic level, right? At the basic level. Because people you may have come from, here you may have learned something, but you have not learned Tableau, let's say. It's okay. Obviously, you don't expect everybody to learn everything and come. But we have that certain standard that we want employees to have within 12 months. This includes, for example, external certification also in SQL, in Tableau or ClickView, whichever tool you are working on. Then going there, we ask people to specialize, and they again have to clear various tests that are there. Technical training like big data, understanding of big data, data science, and various further specializations. If you are a data scientist, how you can do vision in this. So, and then there are focus groups that are working on certain problems or capabilities, we call them. So they really build those capabilities and educate others on how to use them, which are more.
If you work at a good company like Fractal, where they make sure that people are up to date with all the capabilities. Even if you are not at such a company, you need to make sure that that learning does not end with the program and you have to keep on updating us. For example, I am now doing deep learning since I have not learned deep learning before. Basically, you have to fill all the gaps that are there in your system. So, and you need to continuously see, okay, what's going on in the community, what is the new thing that's coming. So basically, catching up with that and learning new things is basically a lifelong journey.
So we, as I think the question, the reason behind this question is that, as he rightly mentioned, that your learning doesn't stop here. I mean, it's like there are a lot of good blogs, there are a lot of good writers, like which we are going to share all those with you. We believe you should follow and you should keep yourself updated because this landscape is changing so fast that it's very important that you at least first build your concepts and so. But at the same time, you just keep an eye on what is happening. That is something which is very important. So yeah, I think thanks. I mean that's what I had. I mean, if this is open for Q&A, if you guys have any question, more than yeah, please. I think that's yeah. Little bit louder, little.
Yeah, thank you for sharing your experience with Fractal. You said you used to build models in SAS and then now you're migrated to Python. Similar in my case, I spent 7 years in SAS. I'm migrated to Python. So any advice like how what is going to contribute?
See, I mean, I think the one thing that's there is learn it as a different language. One advice that I personally have is forget SAS because the way it works is very different compared to how some of the other tools work. So if you learn, it's easier if you not learn SAS. Unfortunately, you've learned. So I mean, what I'm trying to say is that don't worry about it. Go ahead and learn. I don't think that, see, if you know the concepts of programming, that doesn't change. But the implementation is very different. So if you're going to try and see how does proc means work here, what is the equivalent, you will struggle. Rather, you should say, what is there here and let's start from scratch and learn it. That would be nice.
There's another question. I think let's just take this one. Yeah.
Just a very generic question. The field of AI, the data science is full of challenges and very exciting field. I just want to ask you, what are the typical challenges which will excite a data scientist to give his or her 200% each day?
That's a great topic, and I think it is very individual driven, right? It's an individual question that's there. I mean, this is one thing that really I look after staffing at Fractal. This is one of the big problems that I also have, right? I mean, there are data scientists who are there are projects who are there that are there where I need to fill people, but those people don't want to work here and on. So I'll tell you a very simple thing that it is very, very individual driven. Obviously, any data scientist would want to work on something that's emerging, where competition is low, and it is the right thing to do, right? I mean, as all of you, if you're going to work on something which is old field and it's outdated, nobody's, when I started with Fox Pro, but if you guys, if you think of what Fox Pro is, nobody uses now. So you don't want to work on something that is not going to go ahead. Plus, certain people have certain interests, like deep learning also has a lot of different areas. So you need to pick one. You're going to either work on vision or you're going to work on speech analysis, text analysis, like Mudassir is doing it. Address matching is something you may have to do, sometimes if you're trying to merge two different address books or something. So you have to learn all of this and develop specialization. I don't have a very generic, answer way to address. It's very specific to each individual, what applies to one. I've seen one person say that this I don't like, but another person take up the same job. Because also you have to remember that it is not only the technology. You are looking at the problem, you are looking at the team that's working on that, you are looking at the client. Sometimes the client is very pressurizing, pushy, and you are not the kind of person who really likes, someone to ask you every 1 hour and say, what's the progress? Other people may survive in an environment like that, you may not. So I think the combination really is what we need to look at. Problem is not always, it's not usually the one factor only that works. It is the combination of all of this, the team, the environment, the problem. Sometimes, Mudassir said that, 80%, 90% of what he does is data analysis only. Some of the data scientists will come and say, I don't want to do that, right? I mean, I'm evolved post that. Some of this may be right, some of it may not be right. So we try and make people do what they like, but sometimes you have to say that, okay, this is what is available. Go and choose within it. Don't say that I want to work on the vision or I want to work in the telecom industry and we don't have that project available right now. So it's a good question and it's very important that you have to be able to say that this is the high level kind of thing that I want to work at. You cannot say I want to work on this only. Mudassir is working in a 10-member, 12-member company. He has to do everything. He cannot say no. I'm sure.
You have to do everything. So you have to get the data, you have to process it, you have to visualize it, you have to do everything on your own. So it will depend on which kind of companies you do. So in some companies they have specific types of people. In small startups you have to do basically everything.
Both has pros and cons. At the same time, Mudassir can say 80% is doing data analysis, but he's understanding more business than okay, what is happening, why he's doing that. That is also something which drives a lot of people. They want to work on bigger things other than just staying with.
Even at Fractal, I mean, the approach that is there is everyone talks to the client, everyone does data analysis, everyone does each and everything. It's not very different from a startup. It's only that some choices may be a little more there in a larger company, but essential parameter is you own the journey from zero to end for the customer.
Good question. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Ronak Bhadrava. I work in BNP as an analyst. So I work more on the analyst as a functionality of an application. I want to make a career switch into data science and data analyst or data analyst. So I have two questions actually. One is so when I'm switching, I've never done a data science or data analyst job before. So is it required to have? Will it help me to go for an interview having a Bachelor of Statistics or something like that? Having a degree of specification in statistics?
See, I think I answered this earlier. The degree usually helps. It tells you that you've done something and it will give you an entry somewhere, right? I mean, maybe because you're all from Griatam, you might get to be interviewed at HDFC Live or Fractal or whatever. But at the end of the day, the answer to the questions, the evaluation is the same as someone else's communication. So,
do you actually, so I'm looking more on the functional role that I want to get into. Techno-functional, technical more of 20%, functional more of 80%. So if I want to convince the person that yes, I'm good at statistics and something that which you will require if you want a functional role. So is the statistics that the basics are enough and the company will teach me later, or do I really have to deep dive into the statistics?
it's a good question. It depends on each individual company and each individual role. I will just explain here how Fractal hires also work in the benefit. We take an aptitude test. We believe that everyone has to learn, and aptitude is important in that. Right? That's the first thing. Then we take if you know technology, if you know that typically we will take a technology coding test. So we don't believe that any language is important, but some language is important. You must have done something, right? You might know Python, you might know R, you might know SQL. It doesn't matter what you know very well, but you need to know something very well, right? So that is something that we do. Then there are problem solving rounds, which Mudassir also said that problem solving is the critical thing. When we come up with a problem, how widely can you think? Right? Because as an IT person, if you look at how different an IT role is, or if some of you may have worked, so that's why I'm just giving the analogy so that you understand. You have been given a form, you have been told these are the fields, this is the validation that we need to do, and your job is to ensure that that validation is done successfully. Okay, as an IT professional. Whereas here, you are being shown something and you are supposed to do anything like. And that is something which terrifies people. I don't know, tell me what to do. If that's where you are, then you are not in this industry. You're in the wrong industry. Or, what I'm exaggerating, what I want to say is basically you have to come out of that mindset. You have to come out of that mindset and say that, what is it that we are discussing here? We are not telling you that this is what you need to do. We are telling you these are the things that you can do. But still, at the end of the day, you are going to make the choice of how you do. And that's critical. Problem solving is that when we tell you how to reduce, model loss, auto loss or theft, that is there in claims, one option is to build a statistical model for that. Another option is to see if the process is correctly done. Other option is to see if the timelines, if people are, applying for claims at the right time. So there can be n answers to that, and that is the first step, because we are solving problems for clients. We are not building models. So, Mudassir also was telling that we have not yet built a model, right? So, model building comes much later after the problem is solved. So that's where it's very critical. So we have a couple of problem solving rounds. Communication, at least for Fractal, is super critical. If you cannot communicate, we believe that you work in teams. And if you cannot communicate very well, effectively with others, yes, you may have a vernacular background and you won't, your English may be a little bit broken, that's fine, but you should be able to communicate your thought, you should be able to communicate your question, your answer very effectively. So that's critical. These are some of the things that are critical. For example, if a role requires higher level of statistics, we would take a statistics test, and we would definitely want you to do very well on that test and then automatically the preference would be the people who have learned statistics and all of that. But the main thing is that you need to demonstrate. Even in our test, which we do on our Python, you have to write a program. It's not like these are the 4 functions, pick the one that is applicable. That is, we don't believe in that. You write a code and you say that this is how you are able to identify whether this thing is a palindrome. That won't be the question, but I'm just giving an example.
So actually coming back to the second question, there is this thing that when you're doing a techno-functional role, data science analysis, more like that. So you actually need a technical knowledge and domain knowledge, or is it like that if you have the technical knowledge, for example, the theory of data science and everything, and you can float around industries like marketing, investment banking and places, or which works better, this, or if you really have a domain knowledge, like you want to get into the investment banking, you do a CFA and everything, and you want to get over there, which works better in a data science industry?
Actually, both are proper ways. So at Fractal, if you're coming to a company like Fractal, at an initial level, we will not place importance on domain. We don't believe that you are tied to a domain just because you've done an MBA in finance, right? You are a generalist, right? At the end of the day, if you're coming to a company like Fractal, you're a generalist. After 4, 5, 6 years, if you've worked in one industry and you pick that industry and you're working there only, then yes, then you will probably go in that route only. But I have seen people who have 10 years of experience in insurance, they've gone to different industries and they've gone switch. So that is possible, right? It's not possible. But eventually we see that after that 5, 6, 7 year mark is where people will specialize, and that specialization has a weight. It's very critical. Having said that, like if some of you are coming from a retail background, having spent 4, 5 years or more, that experience is critical, and you will, you know the problems very well of the retail industry, a supply chain is a problem or whatever, right? In your industry, you know the problems very well, and that is a component of the problem-solving process, understanding the current process, understanding the problem. So, if you are not tied to a domain, that's fine. You will be learning. You will anyways have to learn about the problems that you are going to work at. And if you are an expert in a certain domain, that also is fine.
There's a question at the please.
Yeah, take this. I have a question for Mudassir. I see communication from emails that they usually need an experience of 1 or 2 years. So people who are already, I mean, most of the people are here are already working somewhere. Some, how what past experience will help us get into this way because you get this requirement is they generally need 1 or 2 years of experience at least in data. I think 1 or 2 years of experience. They want to see how well you work in an organization, have you worked in a team. Then that's the kind of thing that is for when you say 1 or 2 years of experience. Right? If you're saying about data science, yeah, it may be relevant, it might not be relevant. The important thing is to start learning here and don't think too much. Okay, how is this done? Right? It might help in a later stage when you are into actual problem solving. Right? Some of your previous domain knowledge might come into it. That is up to the employer to decide if it actually is or not. Right? Are the problems that they are working on require that kind of thing? Right? Even apart from that, don't worry too much about getting the domain knowledge at the start, right? Because you have to basically go on and talk to people. You won't have all the knowledge beforehand. You need to talk to a lot of people to understand and get insights from them, even if you are working on a domain for now, right? That might be a new problem that you don't have any experience. So that kind of communication is required at your end. And so coming back to the question, yeah, I mean, having 1 or 2 years of experience is important for the recruiters, but it won't help you in your data science.
You said you did the work on creditors. I just wanted to know what are the details there on this.
We have, I mean, one of the earliest models that has been that we built for 90 time for a very long time.
Is when you work on the risk models, don't have sufficient data. For example, whenever you work on the credit risk on the BA side also, don't have sufficient data. So when you build a model around that limited data, will that not be perfect or like
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, typically a risk model is, goes through far greater scrutiny, in terms of model building effort and all, because we want to ensure that the results of the model, basically people will default not immediately. People will take the, insurance very quickly, but people will default only over a period of time. So we have various ways and means of building a risk model, a robust model. The robustness of the model is very important when you are building a risk model. That takes a backseat in, if a marketing model works for 2 days, that's good enough. The risk model is one that should work over time, and that's what there are various ways and means of checking that. Any variable that we use, we test a lot around that, and whether it's going to continue in the same manner for long or not. So there are various ways. I don't want to get into the details of that specifically, but there is a lot of testing that needs to be done when we build a credit risk model.
There's one more question. Yeah.
So, you work with a lot of data scientists who are fresher also, and what are the common mistakes you have seen which a rookie data scientists commit? Like, what are the mistakes?
I think, as a data scientist, what usually the mistake people do is they are not appreciative of the problem itself. They don't understand the problem very well. They are more focused on the specific technique that is to be applied, and in the process they forget that sometimes this other technique may be a better technique to apply, or the problem can be solved even without building a model. So many such things do happen. But I think again, it's natural. A little bit when you build a few models, then you get an idea that what clients also want and what eventually gives the results. But these are some things that
Awesome. Okay, 2 more. We'll start from there.
My question would apply to both of you. So when clients approach you for solving a problem, are they very specific as to what is the problem, or they give you a very vague statement? For example, they have
Amazon approaches you and says that sales are not happening. So are you expected to identify the specific problem and solve it? Or how?
Okay, essentially clients, clients want us to be everywhere. Clients don't want, as I said earlier, clients don't come to us and say that build a logistic regression or build a deep learning model on this and do like this and give the result like this. They say this is the problem, my sales looks to be coming down. Can you think of ways in which I can increase it? Some clients have a target that their TRA is that, I have to sell $3 million and currently the run rate shows that I will only make 2.4. And then their problem will change to please make sure that I am getting $3 million. So it is a little bit different in most cases, but essentially they are going to say that you identify the problem, you tell us what to do in that case, what is the solution.
At our end, we are already providing this. We are not consulting. Right? We have a data product, and whatever problems we demonstrate what our product does for them. Right? If they like it, they will go ahead. And whatever problems they give us is basically almost the same that we get from other clients. Right? So it's not very vague or something. It's more specific because they know why they are buying the product, why are they investing.
That is too.
My name was on the same line.
Okay. Anyone?
Hi, this is Govind. So my question is basically my interest is more on the research line and into solving real life problems. So I believe Fractal works on a lot of real life problems. So suppose there is a real life problem and you want to start working on it. So what is the approach that Fractal takes? What is the time frame that is given? When does Fractal decide that okay, we have invested a lot of time into it and we're not getting anything out of it? So on those lines, can you shed some light on it?
Yeah, I think over a period of time, we have figured out a way that this is something that is solvable, this is something that is not solvable. I think, the people who are working, they immediately when they see the problem, they know whether it can be solved or not. Now, in certain situations, it may arise that after looking at the data, initially you're not looked at the data. They come with a problem like, this is what we want to do. We have 6 products, 6 different insurance products, and we want to identify which to sell and help us sell the maximum. So we'll give, you can do this, and you can also do this. You can also change the color. You can also change the message, the line, this, that. What is the client? If the client is going to, Yatra is going to tell 1 million customers, they're going to make a lot of money. People are going to buy insurance. They'll go for the whole hog. Or they'll go for a smaller thing which just tells them that which is the insurance product and they'll say everything else I will do. So it depends how much you are going to invest is also going to depend on how much returns can be expected. But typically a typical project will have 6 to 8 weeks of time frame where you're getting the data, you're analyzing the data, you're coming up with the results, you're coming up with the recommendations of what they want to do. Share that with clients and we put an implementation plan around how the results can be implemented. There are some which are more regular and ongoing, but this is a typical project, 6 weeks to 10 weeks in that manner.
Hi, my name is Ishan Bhai. My question is that looking from past, say, 50-60 years, data has been there. But today, focus is more on data, and the business, the decision makers, they rely heavily on data. But there is this part, human instinct. So, how have you seen this change? Like people who have made decisions before with less data, now relying heavily on the data, but the human instinct that yes, this will work, this won't work. Even they have the data with them, but how this change has happened? What have you seen?
See, I think human instinct is currently, if you look at the kind of data that is there, we are actually capturing it, right, in a way. If you look at self-driving cars, if you look at telematics, right? Telematics is where an instrument is put on your car. It is not self-driving, you are driving the car, but the telematics captures how well you are driving. So, the current do an accident, the premium reduces, right? It's very simple. But really that's an outcome-based thing. It is not how well you're driving, but just because if somebody banged in the middle of the car, he was drunk and you happened to drive one fortunate time where he banged your car, then you are stuck in your premium LLP. That may not be the right method. So if you look at it in terms of telematics, what it does is captures human behavior. How at what times of the day are you driving the car? How well you are driving? Are you taking a sharp turn? Are you taking a slow turn? Is your speed 140, 160 or 80 or 60? So all of these things, we are capturing human intent, like video cameras. There are, I'm sure in this building or everywhere, there are many video cameras that capture how humans behave. How they walk in a grocery store. Do they walk first to the bread part and then they go and buy some other stuff? All this information is, where do their eyes look? Right? Are they going to look at the same level, or are they going to put what products to put down the shelf, what products to put up the shelf? There are a lot of things that are changing basis that. So we are capturing human behavior in some way. Of course, we can't capture the absolute raw thinking, but we are capturing what people are doing, and that itself is one way. Initially, it was much less obvious capture, was not so there, but even when credit, when I built a credit risk model, we were using the decisions of the credit risk assessors themselves. Like they would have rejected an applicant, and you would say that this applicant is. We don't know if you would have given a loan, what would have happened to this, but we know that application or that applicant had a higher risk, and we used to capture it. So we capture human behavior in building models as well. And as you can see in terms of application, Tesla has said that there has to be a human driver behind the wheel. So until some of this stuff gets proper, we are going to use human plus computer judgment. I'm quite sure that eventually we will come up with a time where computers will outperform humans, and human driving will be a risk compared to a computer driving. So that is what it is going to be. It's going to be safer for computers to drive than for humans to drive, and it is. You can think it is happening. It's not something that is. I mean, it will take time for it to be adopted everywhere, but that's the future.
Your question.
As Fractal, you all had a fair share of international clients as well as domestic clients. So what difference have you observed in the use cases that have gone to international clients against domestic?
So as Fractal, we've done a lot of work initially with domestic clients, and then we've done a lot of work internationally and much less domestically. What we have seen is the readiness for international clients, global companies, is far higher in terms of the way they are set up and way they are open to some of this stuff. Domestic clients have a lot of data-related problems. The data is not unclean, not clean at all. I think recently this has been changed. This has been changing, and far more people are ready to adopt analytics and to improve data quality and all. So yes, that's there. In general, the Indian clients definitely want value for money. The global clients are more with results. Indian clients say, I am giving $100,000 to you. So even if I've got the result, I would make you work more. That is the mentality. Where a global client will say that why I got my result, why I should waste his time or her time. Let's go ahead and do the next thing.
Any more questions?
So I wanted to thank Mithul for calling us, and I also wanted to say that we keep meeting a lot of different people, a lot of different players who adopt analytics and education. I think though you guys are startups, though we have not really worked with an analyst from Grey Atom, I think in terms of being open and being having an open culture to create and have students learn many new things as opposed to a single one. We've seen a very open culture with Grey Atom. Mithul and and Shweta both, whom I've met directly. And that's where I think that definitely go ahead and look up to them. I mean, in terms of their advice, it's going to be quite useful. I would have given most of the advice that these guys are giving, I would have given the same. So, yeah.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Big round of applause. There is a small token of grey atom. Chris, take a photo, yeah. Somebody can you please take a photo? Chris, after us, please, please. Phone chale, maybe you can use your. Yeah, WhatsApp पे share कर देते हैं. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks. Thanks a lot. Thank you. So, yeah. So.